Shalom Aleichem. We are learning the Sicha of Naso Gimel and the Siyum on the Masechta of Nazir. So let us share the screen. It's based on two farbrengens that were a month apart in Tavshin Chafei. This is the year that the Rebbe is still in the Avelus in the morning for his mother, Rebbetzin Chana. And that connects because the Siyum was partially said on Yud Beis Tammuz and partially said on the day that the Rebbe stopped saying Kaddish, Hey Menachemav, which is 11 months after Vav Tishrei. So the Rebbe said like this. The Rebbe speaks towards the beginning of the farbrengen in the Yud Beis Tammuz. He says the first person who's called a Nazir is Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef was the one who supplied food for everybody. Chol Haaretz. In the years of hunger, everybody needed help, and he helped everyone. And at that time, before Matan Torah, there was no chiluk, no difference in halacha between Bnei Yisrael and people who are not Bnei Yisrael, but there were a difference between people who keep Sheva Mitzvahs Bnei Nech and those who don't. And Yosef helped everybody. Like the Chazal say about Tov Ayin Hu Yevurach, someone who has a good eye will be blessed. That means literally Yosef had a good eye. And Yosef, who helped everybody, is also the first one who was called a Nazir. Like it says, Ulukot Koid to the head, Nazir Echav, the Nazir of his brothers. And the Rebbe says we find in Gemara, etc., and in Rashi that Yosef actually acted like a Nazir for B'meshach Kama Shanim for a certain amount of time. And the Rebbe said for a specific private thing, I want to start with a Siyum Masechta. The Rebbe doesn't say why, and I decided to do the Siyum on Maseches Nazir. Then the Rebbe went on the Siyum Maseches Nazir that we learned in our Sicha, the idea of Naziris Shmuel, who was a Nazir Olam, and Shimshon, that according to Rambam, he wasn't a Nasi Gomer, etc., as we spoke about in the whole Machlekes, Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Noirai, if Shmuel was a Nazir. The Rebbe said that in farbrengen because even after Rabbi Nachman answered to the Yosi on the question, Ein Moida Shel Basav Adam, and he said, and he asked the question, it already says, Vayom Shmuel Elechach B'Shama Shmuel Varageni, so he already had the fear of Basav Adam. Nevertheless, Rabbi Yosi stayed in his opinion, but nevertheless, halacha kedad be nahirai, etc. Then the Rebbe went on to farbrengen, the idea, the whole connection to Ma'am Shalom Ba'olam and the machlekes of Aniyas Amein, etc. Now, then the Rebbe continued speaking about Nazirus, the idea that Nazirus has various gedalim, and it's mainly about kedusha. The Rebbe spoke about Nazirus, as you can see in this paragraph, for quite a while. And the Rebbe said that the idea of being kedusha is famous. The story that the Rebbe said about Zayt Marash, that the whole difference in Avodas Adam the whole Avodah Adam could be expressed with two words, pasnisht and yepast. That a son of Amritzum Yaakov, pasnisht to be talk lashon hara. It's unbefitting that you should take property of somebody else. You should be a balgaiva. You had such incredible parents and grandparents. How should it be possible that you should act like a simple person that didn't learn from their grandparents, etc.? Whatever. Then the Rebbe spoke about talking the people who live in America, and we asked them to act differently, and they say no, they don't want to. They want to be as somebody else. They want to be like American. He says no. People are worried. Someone's going to ask you the picture on your house. Who's the picture? And who's the lady with the shaitel? And they'll start talking about this. Alta Zayde was a Rav, a Sheikhet, a Malamed, etc. He used to go to the mikveh on Friday afternoon. He had no shaykhs to Yanei Avelt, etc. And we find these pictures in the houses, even of people who don't even keep the 3 days of the year, 2 days of Shani Yom Kippur. But when they talk about the Alta Zayde, so when you tell the guy, 1 second, your grandfather invested everything in you. What? And he starts giving his excuses, as you can see in the Sicha of Yud Beis Tammuz Tavshin Chafei. Let's move on to the other Sicha, and that is Hey Menachem of Tavshin Chafei, when the Rebbe finished the Siyum. The Rebbe started by the farbrengen that we know the Rebbe Rashab finished the whole Shusha Mishnah in honor of the end of Kaddish. And from there, you learn that you have to do something, you have to learn as well. And then the Rebbe went on to talk about the Siyam of Maseches Brachos and the Siyam of Maseches Nida at the end of Shas, etc. And then the Rebbe continued talking about Maseches Nazir, that over there, it's also mentioned there, not only in Brachos and the connection of Naidai and Nabisi and the Mishnah, etc., as we spoke about in the Sicha. And the Rebbe finished off and said, even though we finished saying Kaddish, because the Inyan HaBeirurim Va'aliyas is finished, interesting expression about what happens at the end of 11 months. Nevertheless, it's not the Tachlis HaShleimus. There's still things that we have to still do for the yard. Say Tachlis HaShleimus will be a kitzur on the Sheikh Ni'avar in the cave at the Sev of Gever. That was talking about his mother. In the cave at the Sev of Gever, the woman will be even greater. And then the Rebbe said the famous Maimer, Bilam Avis Lanetzach, the death will disappear. It's the famous Mugadik Maimer on Tchias HaMesim and the end of death.